story.
Don't be tardy for the party.
Don't fuck it up.
Oh my fucking god.
Because the gays just know how to do stuff. You know?
You're back!
Hey everybody, welcome to it. I totally messed that up. Hey everybody, we're back. Season 6.
We are back.
Wow.
Yeah, season 6. This is the premiere of season 6. We are Who Invited Her, San Diego's LGBTQ pop culture podcast. I am your host, Tony, and I'm here with my other host.
I'm Daddy Bear Eric.
Yes, and our newest host this season, joining the cast.
I was gonna say this is like my first and our other host.
Host. Yes, Brynne Mac.
Look at me. Hey, hi guys.
Yeah, we're back. We're back for another season of this. Let me make sure everything's recording because this is like the first time we're doing it live in a while. So I'm hoping it all works.
We can talk some amongst
Yeah.
us
Yeah,
as well.
I was gonna say.
I feel like it's been 84
4
years
Yeah.
since we've been on these
84.
microphones.
Yes. Well, and we've all been to different countries. We've
Yes.
lived lives.
Yeah.
It's truly wild.
We've had like an entire summer that has passed since we've been here.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like I'm ready to explode with topics to
With
like
so-
talk
I
was-
about.
know. I know.
is this episode gonna be 2 hours long?
We'll see.
So much.
I'm
Right.
hoping it's recording the video. If
Yeah.
not, what is it? Is it Cesar?
You can see it,
Thank
Cesar.
you. Okay, so we have a lot to cover on this episode. It is our season premiere, which I'm very excited. We're back, season 6.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the longest, and Eric knows this. This is the longest break we've had on the show. We took a solid 2 months off.
Yeah, which is crazy.
And it was so
I was like, do you feel refreshed?
I do. I'm
And-
ready
yeah.
to go.
yeah.
And we did a lot during this break. A lot. All of us
Yeah.
did.
All of us.
Yeah.
And I actually haven't
Me
seen
too.
Brynne because I was gone, then you were in
Then you
Scotland.
Yeah, I was in
Yeah.
Scotland.
And you and I, we went to Croatia together,
Yeah.
Eric and I.
I had to take a break from you from that.
I know.
vacation.
I didn't really get a break. My family can't. We'll get into
Yeah.
all of
Oh,
it.
yeah.
But you guys, if this is your first time tuning in, you can always follow the podcast at Who Invited Her _podcast on Instagram. Go give us a follow. We're gonna try to do the show live on Saturdays like we used to do at 12:30.
yeah.
Sorry we were late today.
It was my fault.
Yeah, it was Brynne's fault.
Traffic.
But we're gonna try to do it live. So watch us live, comment, and interact with us. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the fun thing about being live is that when you guys are watching, we can interact with you. And
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
ask us questions or mock us. Or
Exactly. Make fun of us, correct us.
Right.
You can watch us live on our YouTube channel, Who Invited Her. Go subscribe, hit that subscribe button. And then you'll get notifications when we do go live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
Cool. Look
Did
at
you
that.
like our little intro?
Yeah.
That was so funny.
I figured it's, holiday season is coming up.
Did you make that?
Yeah.
That was so good.
I got real stoned one night and
I
started.
love
You
it.
really had some free time on your
I
hands.
did. I really did.
You guys didn't see it, but Eric and I were riveted. We
Yes.
hadn't
Oh
seen
no,
it. We
they
were,
saw
like,
it. That was
inching
part of the
in.
live.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
it was?
they were watching us? Oh,
You're watching
wow.
us
I
react
love it.
to it.
So it was great. It was great. Okay, let's start. Okay, where do
Oh,
we
okay.
begin? Where do we begin? First off, it is October 1st. I know the podcast version of this show will come out on the 3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
But we will have already done Red Dress because Red Dress is tonight.
Tonight.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it, Eric? Are you
I'm
ready?
ready to paint the town red.
How do you follow up last year's outfit, Miss Lala Reese?
Oh,
and
You
amazing.
know, it was really tough. I struggled to think of ideas. I think this one's a good one. It's not as fun as last year, but it's fun.
It's
I look
fun.
ridiculous.
I literally chopped up my dress from last year and throwing on a corset and calling it a day.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, little effort this year for me.
Yeah.
I just been busy. I didn't have time to make something or do all that shit.
It's so hard. I feel like last year for Halloween, I normally go all out, and last year I was like, meh. Except for that Chucky costume. I liked
that was cool when we
That
did
was
it on
cool.
Film
Yeah.
Spring.
Yeah. But like for my daughter and I was like, I don't know.
Oh, you gotta close my legs.
I was
See
just
up
saying,
my
I
panties.
I spread
know.
out because
You
you guys
spread
spread
out.
out too.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be the only
All
one.
right, where do we start? So we took a break. We'll start with our trip first, Eric.
Okay.
So Eric and I left. I was gone for a total of 17 days.
Yeah.
And we went to Croatia.
Yes.
It was amazing.
It was insanely
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. So I ended up going 4 days before you got
Yep.
there, and I was with my friend Steven and then Roz from Mates Rates podcast. It's her travel company, Roz Travels. She organized everything. If you go to her latest episode, me and her had a conversation about the whole trip,
cool.
the do's and the don'ts, and it was an amazing trip. So we first went to Dubrovnik. Myself, Steven, Roz, and Madison. Yeah, Maddie. She was a delight. I had a great time with her.
Yeah.
Dubrovnik, for anybody that doesn't know, that's where a lot of Game of Thrones was filmed. And it was
Ooh.
absolutely beautiful. And we stayed in Old Town, which I highly recommend you do. My highlights from Dubrovnik was Ibiza Bar, this little hidden bar on the cliffs outside of the Old Town wall. It was so cool.
Was it like
Yeah.
Ibiza themed?
No, there was no signs. It just said cold drinks and on a wooden sign pointing to it looked like a gate to a jail.
That's
And you
so
just go
rad.
through and you walk down these steps and you're in a bar.
I love
Yeah,
it.
it was so cool.
I do want to talk about your low light, which was the slanted Airbnb
Oh
that
my
you stayed
God.
in.
So the
And
first-
how- wait, and how you complained that the outlet was at the end of the slant and you were crawling to plug in your phone.
So the first Airbnb, perfect location. It was literally above this little cafe that had live music every night from a stand-up bass player, a clarinet player, a piano player, and a guitar player. It was the coolest thing ever. But it was like the attic, so everything was like a point. I am a tall person.
You're
I
so
am
tall.
6'3".
Yeah.
I literally got scoliosis from that, from like staying there. I was like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, ringing the bells at night, because I just could not stand up straight. And the showers, and I was rooming with Steven, he's a bit shorter than me, and he was fine. He was just like,
He's
yeah,
like, what are you talking about? This is
this
great.
Hobbit house is perfect
He's
for me.
gonna kill you.
I know, he is.
It is my dream to stay in a Hobbit house though one day.
Oh, it was that.
Well, we know one for
Yeah,
you.
Yeah. If you want to go to Dubrovnik. It was hilarious. But the Airbnb itself was great. And we were hardly there. We slept most of the time because we were out doing stuff. And we literally went swimming in the ocean every day.
Your
the
pictures
Adriatic Sea.
were
It was
Yeah.
yeah, if you want to go see pictures of the trip, on my Instagram, it's Tony_Baloney_macaroni. I try to post so much.
Yeah.
I tried little videos and all that. And
Yeah.
as people know, I am not a social media person. I hate it.
No, it was every time I got on and I saw your like pictures, I was so jealous.
Oh, it was
It
a
looked
fun
just
trip.
like the best trip, and you guys just looked like also everything was visually beautiful, but you looked like you were having such a good time.
were.
Oh, we were.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
after Dubrovnik, we did do a day trip to Montenegro. So I do suggest if
Ooh.
you do go to Dubrovnik, Montenegro is only a few hours away. It was absolutely gorgeous. One of my favorite places to go was Montenegro. And then from there, I went down to Split, and then that's where you joined the trip.
Yeah.
And everybody else, because there ended up being, 18 of us all
18
together?
of us.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the other 18 I didn't really know. I knew
No.
Karen
We knew
from
Karen.
before.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. But so we met in Split, and we had a couple days in Split. What did you think of Split, Eric?
I love Split. Split was like one of the larger towns that we went to. And everything's kind of within these castle walls, and but it's still a big city, so there was a lot to see, a lot to do. The food was amazing. We got some
Yes.
really great seafood that was there. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And so I loved it. It was nice, but then when we were there a couple days, I was ready to go somewhere else and not have somewhere that had like a Zara and
Yeah.
H&M.
Well, it's true because Split was more of like compared to Dubrovnik was very like medieval feel. Split was more a little more modern
Yeah.
feel, and it was very much like trying to be the French Riviera, like very expensive and stuff.
Yeah.
But we had a great time there. Our Airbnb there was absolutely perfect. I fit in all the rooms. It was like made for humans.
Yeah.
It's Tony's
Yeah.
baseline now.
Yeah.
Is this
It was
made
like,
for a human?
oh my God, I could stand up in the shower and I can actually like stand up and pee. I don't
5
have
stars.
to like, yeah, it was 5 stars all the way. But Split was great. There was, I will say this about Croatia. We ate so good.
Yeah.
It was all seafood and Italian food mostly.
Yeah, because they were conquered by the Romans, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of Italian influence, and they were also conquered by the Austrians at one point too. So there's kind of Austrian
I
influence.
didn't know Austria
Both,
conquered anyone.
yeah,
Yeah.
both food and like design of buildings.
Because there was some Venetian inspired, then there was very Italian inspired. So it was very interesting, like the history of Croatia. Because one of the girls that we met on the trip, Jen, she did like the nerd tour
Yeah.
and got all the history.
and
it was
then
great.
retold
It was
us
like
it
a little book of
in the
everything,
Cliff
yeah.
Notes version.
I
which
love
is
it was great.
wonderful.
And so from Split,
Can we
go
talk
ahead.
about the gay bars?
Oh yeah.
What gay
was
bar?
it like?
Exactly.
There
Oh.
was one gay bar called Milk that I went to in
Yeah.
Dubrovnik. I don't know if I should tell this story.
Yes,
should I
please
this
tell it.
story?
I don't know what
so-
story it is.
Milk was literally the size of my living room. It was tiny.
Oh, the
And
bar.
the one gay bar in Croatia that I knew of. So we went. It was Steven, Roz, Madison, and I. We walk in. You don't go to the bar to order a drink. They come to you. And our Sven, our like bartender, first thing he said, "How drunk do you want to get tonight?" And we're like,
Love that.
moderately. And he goes, "Perfect." Leaves, comes back with champagne. And let me tell you, for one, Croatia right now is pretty cheap because they're still on their own currency, the kuna. Until January 2023, they go to the euro.
Yes.
So right now, the exchange for kuna to dollar is 7 kunas to $1. So
Oh.
so everything was pretty reasonable
That's
when we
rad.
were there. But Milk, you can tell that they really cherished their little gay bar because everybody that was there was so happy to be there. And we met a couple people from San Diego. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. It was really cool. And then so Steven and Madison punked out. They got drunk and left. And so I was there with Roz, and we met a bunch of French kids, and I met a young French man who was gorgeous, and had some fun in the bathroom until Roz knocked on the door and said, "We gotta go." And I was like, "Wait a minute." Yeah, because they were closing, and I forgot. It was like 3 a.m.
Wow.
And then, get this. So we leave, and we're with these other French kids, and this guy comes up
When you
wanting
say kids, you mean full-grown adults.
full-grown adults. To me, if you're under 25 and you're above 18, you're a kid.
Yeah.
Just want to make it clear.
Clarify that.
Thank
for
you.
Yeah,
everyone.
thank you.
So this guy outside is telling me that, "Hey, you want to come back to my play? I got this girl." He was
Some
pretty
wonderful
much.
French
He was
accent.
What accent is
I don't
that?
know.
It's so
He
good.
shut up. He was a pimp trying to pimp out his hooker. Is what he went, and I was like, "No, you're obviously at the wrong bar." And then he goes to Roz, and he's like, "Oh, you're so beautiful," and trying to get her.
To become a sex worker?
Yes, and I was like, "Roz, we gotta go. We gotta go." And so we're warning the other French young adults, telling them because he was trying to get them, and I'm like, "You're at a gay bar.
Yeah,
None
like
of them
what-
want you. Yeah,
Wow.
you're offering
Yeah.
the wrong kind of service. Your merchandise isn't what these folks are." And then he got all mad because all of us were like, "No, dude." Yeah, and then he took off. Yeah.
Well, at least he left. One
Yeah.
time when I was in Amsterdam, when I was 18, a man picked me up and put me over his shoulder and like tried to
What?
run away with me. Yeah.
Really?
I'm
So
I made it.
romantic.
It was
So romantic. Did you say
and
so
we're
romantic?
and we're married to this
No,
day.
yeah.
No. My friend was like holding onto my ankles.
What?
Yeah, things get
Wow.
intense. Yeah.
I would have been like, "Yeah, okay, where are we going?"
Sure.
This caveman
I guess we're
style,
doing
all
it now.
right.
All right. I got nothing else to do.
And so, okay, so back to Split. We left Split, and we went to
I can't trigger.
Trigger. I don't know. But then that's when we got on the catamarans. So we had 2 catamarans.
Those
Yeah.
pictures were amazing.
So our catamaran, there was only 8 of us on there, right?
Yeah.
8 of us, and then
9,
the other one
including
had
our skipper.
our skipper.
What was his name?
Anton.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, and I have to say, everybody on our boat was great. We had a great time. The other
Yeah.
boat was more of a party boat.
Yeah. We
Which-
were more of a less of
Chill.
a party
That's
boat.
what I want though. In my elder
It was
years.
perfect.
It's
So
like
we
just
sailed
a nice
to
balance.
a bunch of islands off of Croatia
Yeah.
and stopped at these little seaside villages.
We were at a
and
different island
every
every
day.
day.
It
Every
was
single day.
great.
So cool.
Yeah.
And so the boat, like the catamaran, we would stop in the middle of the Adriatic and swim for a couple hours.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
What?
Yeah.
And we tanned a lot.
Yeah.
I came back so dark. My sister thought I
did.
had a fake spray tan.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And Melvin was like, "What happened to you? Is that real?" I'm like, "It doesn't wipe off. It's real.
is
Leave me
my skin."
alone." Okay, so the boat was amazing. I had a
Yeah.
great time when we were doing the whole sailing.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So, Eric, I got to ask you, since you joined the trip in Split, what were some of your favorite parts?
Yeah.
And then what were some of the parts you're like, I could have done without?
Okay. I really loved going to the Blue Cave.
Oh,
So
that
it was
so cool.
It was this cave that you swim into. You can't. I mean, you could get like a tiny dinghy boat, but we swam for like 25 minutes to get into
Yeah.
the cave.
Which
Yeah. And
I will interrupt you because I thought somebody was going to drown because I'm like,
I was a little worried too.
I surprised myself. I forgot how good of a swimmer I
Yeah.
was.
You're so tall too. That like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was. Oh,
I'm a phenomenal
Y-
swimmer,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
I was tired.
I can imagine. That's a
yeah,
long
we did
time
pretty
to be swimming.
good.
Yeah.
Like,
Especially
yeah.
in open water.
Yeah,
That's not
because
like a
you were
lap
fighting
pool. It's
full
like, yeah,
current
exactly.
when you like jumping off the boat.
Yeah.
So you swim in, and there's one tiny little hole from the top that shoots down a beam of light into the bottom, and the reflection of everything is just bright blue.
gorgeous.
It's just
It's like out of a
insane.
movie.
That's like
it
a
was
dream.
Yeah.
insane. Yeah.
Yeah, you literally could like go down and like swim back up, and you
Mhm.
look like Ariel from the Little Mermaid.
Aw.
Yeah, it was
And
so
they
cool.
had it was really cool because there were rock formations that you can stand on and like you're out of the water and then you can go in. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really
That is
Yeah.
like that's like a dream.
yeah, it was great.
I don't think a lot of people think of that when they think of Croatia.
I
Yeah.
would say
You
the
know?
water everywhere we stopped, the water was so freaking clear. And
That's so
so
nice.
like it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You went snorkeling off of one of the islands.
I
remember,
did.
yeah.
I did go snorkeling. One of my other favorite highlights was the game we invented.
Oh shit! I forgot about the game.
So we discovered that the like house wine of Croatia comes in a box, which we thought was amazing.
Amazing.
So we
That
bought
is
like
amazing.
20 boxes of
Literally.
wine
Love
for
it.
the boat.
Yeah.
And then we decided we would take you could take out the wine from the box and have it in the little bag, and it would float in the ocean. So from there, we decided to create a game that we would go in a circle, and then you had to throw
In the water, we're in
the
a
water.
circle in the
Yeah.
middle of the ocean, treading water. There's about 8 of us in a circle.
and you throw the bag into the center, and whoever it floats to has to drink
drink it.
out of it.
Think of it. And then they have to throw it back in the center, and whoever floats it. So everybody's like trying to wade water and push the bag to the person they
Yes,
want.
amazing.
We went through an entire like 1.5 bags of wine.
Yeah.
That's so much fun.
It was, I forgot. Roz named it something. now,
Yeah,
can't
I don't
remember,
know.
but
Yeah.
it was stupid.
That's good, clean fun.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that was a great highlight.
Yeah.
What
My
was
low
your
light.
favorite island that do you remember?
It was I can't remember the name, but it was the one where we walked to the other side, and it was the really, really rich part.
Oh,
and-
it was it Vice?
Vice, I
Vice.
think. Yeah.
VIS, yeah. Vice.
And going through, so we were on the poor side of the island, but we went to the other side of the island.
Oh,
and
with
it
all
was,
the really wait, which one was that? I think it might have been Vice.
yeah, I
don't
think
know.
it was
Yeah.
Vice. Yeah, and there was just mega yachts and people there like on the outside there'd be people with like 15 people having dinner, and you could see like 6 wait staff, and that's the
Oh,
only
that's
that's the
insane.
staff you could see. Like who knows who's in the kitchen?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was that kind of
It
and
was
then
insane.
yeah, so seeing that and kind of being around that energy was really cool. But then at the end of it, they had this huge barge that came in, and
Mhm.
we like were right there, right when they opened the door. And I want to say at least like 300 cars came out of
was
it, and
huge,
just
yeah.
and semi trucks came out of it. And it was just
God.
the most cool thing to watch, like
Unload.
it unload, because it didn't look like there was that much stuff on there. It was
Yeah.
insane.
This is how cars get here?
Yeah.
There was a lot of the little villages that I like. There was a couple that I can't remember the name of the islands that we went to that had a lot of art galleries. Let me tell you, some of the art wasn't that great, but it was very entertaining. Like you walk down these little cobblestone roads, and
That's my favorite
Yeah.
thing about when you is like the little villages
I
and like
love
the
that
little
shit.
towns that have existed forever.
I loved every morning we had a routine. I
Yeah.
was up, me and Steven were up at the crack of dawn at 6.
Yeah.
And every port had like really nice showers and bathrooms that you use. And so we'd go shower, and then you would walk to the village, get coffee.
Get a coffee, get
and
pastries.
You're
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Belle.
Do you remember that island we went to? Jen, you and I, we got coffee at this place. I don't even know if it was a restaurant now that
The
I think
crack
back.
coffee?
It could have been a house that we
crack?
walked in. So we ordered like this coffee that came in. It was, I don't even remember what kind of, it was weird. So the three of us, maybe an hour later,
Yeah.
we're so cracked out feeling
Oh, 'cause
like
it's really pure.
our eyes
Yeah.
were like just like it was
Yeah.
and we were like all kind of
And then we kept thinking we were getting attacked by bugs, and there
and we
was
weren't.
none. There was absolutely none.
it was like we got like
yeah, you
drugged.
guys got like
Yeah.
drugged.
So Steven didn't have coffee, and he was like, "You all are
He's
crazy.
like, you
What
guys
is
look
going
so
on?"
weird
Why
right
is nothing
now.
in
Yeah.
coffee? It's like how they used to put Coke in Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
We were convinced, and then you know it was funny. Later that night, we walked back and we couldn't find it. With the door we went in
Yeah.
was like, just a solid
There was
wooden door.
There was no
shut.
sign. There was
And
nothing.
we were like, did we walk into somebody's house and order coffee? They just went with it, and we didn't know it.
Just like a secret billionaire that's like, I pop up
Yeah.
in random places in Eastern Europe,
Europe
and
and
drug people
with
Yeah.
just
coffee.
with like put crack in the coffee just for an experiment.
Yeah,
Then he's
see
in
what
his
happens.
helicopter seeing what happens, and then he's gone.
And then
Yeah.
he's gone. Oh man, you know, out of the islands we visited, the one that I was like, was Havar.
Yeah. Which, so Havar, everyone says is like the new Ibiza. Like it's
Yeah.
the big party island. And although very beautiful, it was full of teenagers. And by teenagers,
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean
yeah.
like 19, 20, 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we first got there, right, we had a great dinner, and then we went. Okay, I don't know what that was. Wait, what is that? Something's
That's
going
definitely
That's,
Roz.
hold on. Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
It's a
let's
secret
leave
millionaire
that
putting
and-
crack.
Yeah, I
He's like,
know.
"We found out."
Yeah.
Oh shit! Hold on. Now we're really in trouble. Hold
Oh
on.
no, guys.
Ah. Sorry.
You got hacked because we found out that
Yeah.
millionaire's plan.
I
Yeah.
know. There we
About
go. Okay,
drinking
now we're
your
back on
coffee.
track.
It's the coffee people
Oh, yeah,
coming
yeah.
after
Coffee
us.
people.
See, that's we should never.
Hey, when you
mention
do a
them.
show live, you don't know what's gonna happen. But anyways, back to
Havar.
Havar.
Yeah.
When we first got there, we ate at a really cool restaurant, and then we went to this hookah lounge
Oh, yeah.
bar called Seventh Sin or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was gorgeous. We had a great time there. And then once the sun kind of went down, it's like all of the parties started. And when I say it was a town full of drunk
Rowdy,
young
yeah.
adults
Yeah.
who literally were probably partying at the beach clubs during the day.
Yeah.
And now they're coming into the nightclubs.
Yeah, and definitely like all high on Molly too.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
was like, get me away from these people. They're dropping their pizza and they're
Yeah.
crying and like
Dropping their pizza.
oh, it was just a mess. They were a mess.
Yeah, they were messy.
Yeah. And then
Aw.
we took that water taxi from Hal that we thought we were gonna die.
There was no door on the back, and then it goes like full speed and like tilts backwards. So it just felt like everyone was gonna fall out, especially
Yeah.
the really drunk young people who
Oh,
were like,
God.
"Wee, this is fun," and didn't hold
Yep.
on.
Oh, we should have known when the guy was like trying to get us on there. He was like, "Come on, my boat!" Like just cackling evilly, and I'm
He
like,
really
"This is
was.
a really bad sign." And then we turned to see who's driving the boat. He was 12.
Yeah.
Literally.
That's why
Yeah,
everyone in Europe looks so young to me. They either look like an actual
Yeah.
child or like they're 80 1,000 years
And
old.
then
Yeah.
these drunk girls were flirting with the young kids, so he was driving the boat even faster.
Yeah.
And here, Roz freaked out and literally crouched down in a corner, held on to part of the boat, and was like, "Wake me up when I'm done." I was like, "Man, we're probably gonna die, so might as well look at the stars."
No standards in Europe.
Yeah.
They're like, whatever.
I was like,
Yeah.
"Somebody's gonna die."
Definitely no safety standards.
No.
Not.
No.
It was hilarious though.
Yeah.
Okay, what parts didn't you like about this? What would you have changed about the trip?
You know what? There's not a whole lot. I mean, I do remember like it's been a few years since I've flown to Europe, and I'm always like coming from the West Coast, like. Is this even worth it? Like in the middle of it, like I'm like, should I just turn around and go home now?
Yeah.
'Cause this is
Just stay wherever your
horrible.
layover is.
Yeah.
I'm just staying here.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so that was tough.
the travel days.
Yeah, the travel days were really rough. But,
you know what I could have done without the 5-hour hike to the lakes, maybe. Even though they were gorgeous.
Yeah.
I forget the name of their very famous lakes in Croatia. They start with the piss.
Start with a piss.
I can't remember the name.
Kiss.
I should have looked it up, but I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot.
Anyways, so the hike there, I thought it wasn't going to be very many people. It was packed.
Yeah.
And it was hot.
It was very hot.
Yeah. By the end of it, I literally just could wring out my shirt with sweat.
Yeah, what was the weather like there? Like
Humid,
and
hot.
hot.
It felt like we didn't adjust to it till like 2 days before we
Right.
left.
Yeah. We're like, oh, it's not bad.
Yeah.
But it was cool that we swam most of the time.
Yeah,
So
the swimming part was great.
But
Yeah.
what would you advise people if they go to Croatia? What would be your you need to visit this and you need to do this? What would be your recommendations?
I would say for me, I enjoyed the smaller islands a lot
Mhm.
more than the bigger ones. So, I think if you want to go party, go to the bigger islands.
Yeah.
If you're not into the partying, go to the smaller islands for sure. Just try to be adventurous, walk down the little alleys, the cobblestone, like walk towards places where there's less people, because
Yeah.
we actually found way
Really
more
cool
interesting
stuff,
things
yeah.
that way.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
That's always the best when you're just like off.
Yeah, mine would be definitely check out Old Town Dubrovnik if you go. That is a must. I would say spend a couple days there. When you are there, walk the wall. They have the wall that surrounds it near the port, the main port. If you go to the right, you'll know if you're looking out at the port, go to the right, follow that wall all the way around. There is this little swimming spot that the locals go to, and there's a makeshift bar that they have there. And that's kind of where we hung out most of the time.
That's
and
my dream.
met some amazing people and had the best time swimming. If you go to Dubrovnik, check that out. Look for Ibiza Bar because it was real. I think that's the name of it. That was really cool. The food everywhere we ate in Croatia, the food was great. It was very fresh.
That's so cool.
Be prepared to drink only beer and wine.
Yeah.
The cocktails, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Cocktails in Europe suck.
They suck.
Because
in Croatia, they don't. I would
Everything's-
tell you this: I ordered a Bloody Mary. It was very sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. We tried cocktails many times, like
And
a few
they-
times because we were
yeah.
craving them, and they were always off and
You have to
weird.
get like a shot and then a juice.
Yeah.
Like that, you kind of have to craft your own.
That's a good idea. We
Yeah.
should've
And I
done
would
that.
have to agree with you, Eric. Take time to just wonder, because one of the very first night we were there, we ate at this really cool bar outside of the old town of Dubrovnik, and we heard live music. So we just wandered through the alley, and we found this place called The Bar, and it was literally this guy on a guitar and another guy on drums, and they were playing covers of 1980s grunge music.
Oh my god, I love that.
It was literally up an alley. Like you could see people's clothes hangers, and the tables were just milk carts, and you sat on old sofas. Yeah,
That is so
and they bring out a
cool.
menu, and it's literally they just printed it
Wrote
off
it
their
down.
computer, and it was and it was just beer, wine, pick what you want.
I love
yeah,
that.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, just explore.
Yeah.
And I would say Split is definitely, if you want to do more shopping, go to Split.
Yeah,
Check out
absolutely.
the old palace in Split. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Where we went into
The poop room?
The poop room. Yeah, you'll know what that is.
Yeah.
if you go to Split. I other advice: if you do go to Croatia, learn a little bit of Croatian, even the basic words. The minute you try to speak the language, the locals love it. They even if
that's
you're
sweet.
trying,
Yeah. Even if
they
you're just saying thank you and hi, they're just so
Yes.
happy.
The opposite of French people.
Yes.
they the minute we started, like especially when we were in Dubrovnik, me and Madison went out one night, just us, and we found this little wine bar down an alley, and the guy that owned it, she was like just trying to talk to him in Croatian, and I knew a couple words. By the end of it, he was just so happy that like tourists wanted to sit and try to talk to him. So he invited another one of his friends over, and we sat there till like I think 3 a.m. And he was just bringing us wine, and then he was bringing me pot because he grew his own. It was perfect, and it was all because we just tried
Just
to talk
talk
in
to
their
him.
native language. They were
Yeah.
like, "Yeah,
So cool.
yeah." It was so that would be my recommendation. Just learn the basics, and just remember you're in a different country, different culture, and be respectful of that. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, you went on your little trip.
My trip was very different from your trip.
Okay, Brynne, now it's your turn. Where did you go on our break?
Okay. I went to Scotland for my brother's wedding.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah, and it was wild. It was intense to get there. So we flew in. We stayed in Edinburgh. We flew in Wednesday night. Stayed in Edinburgh until Friday. Took a bus out to Aberdeen to stay in Fask Castle, which is like 2 hours. Yeah, we stayed in an actual castle.
I know. I saw some of the
Wow.
pictures. I have to say, Flynn, you look so cute in your
Yes.
wedding
Thank you.
outfits.
Thanks,
I was
guys.
like, she cleans up well.
Yeah, I got like my
Brynne Mac.
makeup done. But it was like truly like go. Like we took a 7 p.m. flight on Tuesday,
Mhm.
and then we did not get into Edinburgh until like 10 p.m. on Wednesday. And then Flynn and I slept for like 12 hours. Everyone was like, what are you going to do on Thursday? Like, we should go this. We should go on this trip. And I was like, Flynn and I are sleeping if you don't want us to be complete monsters for
Yeah.
this entire wedding.
Yeah.
So we
Which
slept.
is great because then you're back on their time.
Exactly.
It's perfect how you do it.
So then we were like very good. I went on a haunted tour, and
Yeah.
then on Friday we went to the castle. We had the rehearsal dinner, and then Saturday was the wedding, and then Sunday we all sort of like had brunch and then went back, and then a couple of my brothers and sisters and their significant others and a couple of my cousins stayed behind too. So Monday was like super chill. We just like walked
Okay.
around. I took Flynn. There's a really cool zoo in Edinburgh.
Oh.
So we went to the zoo.
Did you do the Harry Potter walk or anything?
We didn't.
Oh,
You know, so the thing is, like, most of the tours that you do are walking tours, and then they take like 2 hours. And when you're with a 7-year-old, it's like
and your wooden leg. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
No.
my peg leg.
like a pirate.
Yeah. But you know what's like wild is like there's just so much history
Oh yeah.
everywhere you go. It's like
Yeah.
I was randomly looking at like the map, and it was like, oh, the witch's well. And so my little sister is like a witch. So we're like,
Yeah.
oh, let's go find the witches well after we had dinner. And we went up, and it was like, oh, this is the site where like 200 witches were hanged and burned. And here's like a little well you can drop. So we're like, what? So it's like right outside like a bagel place.
Was that Flynn's first time out of the country?
So she recently went to Tahiti.
Oh, this little world traveler
Her
at
passport
6.
has more stamps in it than mine.
Oh my
I've
God.
never been to Tahiti.
Yeah.
Me neither.
She went to Tahiti.
She's like, Mom, Scotland's just not like
Yeah.
Tahiti.
She had so much fun. She
Did you?
lost her 2 front teeth.
Oh, I saw the picture. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a different kind of trip. Like my whole family was there, so
Yeah.
and like all my cousins, my extended family, like my
Was there
aunts and
family drama?
uncles, like. Well, there's so much family drama all
love
the
that shit.
time. Well, I was like catching my cousin up. My mom's family, she's going to hate me for saying this. My mom's brothers and sisters have accused her of killing their mother.
That's like not like a
Oh.
little bit of drama. That's like drama. You're a murderer.
Well, and so like I'm talking to one of my cousins on that side,
Yeah.
and he's like, something he told us something like someone was getting divorced or something, and he's like,
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't know. And I was like, well, information isn't really flowing, you know, because your mom and everyone else accused my mom of murder, and then we're all just laughing. And then at the rehearsal dinner afterwards because we're all stuck in a castle together. We're just like saying all the drama that's going on.
Yeah.
There's like drama with
love
like
it.
inheritances and murder.
It's like Knives
like
Out, but in
real
real
It
life.
was, and
drama
we're in
from a real castle.
Yes. Like,
Yeah.
we're like all
Do you
these, like,
remember, Brynne, that movie with where they something spirit where it's Daryl
High
Han-
Spirits
High
with Daryl
Spirits,
Hannah and Liam
yes.
Neeson? That is one of my favorite movies.
Was it like that?
It was just like that.
It is such a cheesy movie, but I
It's
remember
so cheesy,
it when
but
I was growing up.
I love that movie.
it.
We should do that.
on,
was like,
on
on
whatever show we
whatever
end up
show
doing.
we end up doing
I
together.
know.
And then like at one point I was like wearing a velvet dress, and I was like, "What's up?" Just like walking around in like my velvet dress. And we're all like staying in a castle, but it was super cool. Like it wasn't a trip where we were just hanging out, certainly,
Yeah.
and having fun.
Yeah.
I
Not
got
like
back-
ours.
Yeah.
Lots of alcohol,
And-
lots of wine on our trip.
So there was lots of alcohol on this trip, but I was there with Flynn. So it's like, it's like
Yeah.
a different sort of vibe. And I definitely had like my mom was there and there's lots of extended family. And we were super lucky that there were my brother's friend has 2 little girls. And so
Okay.
when we got to the
Oh, that's
castle, there was like a woman working there that said, I have kids too. And my best advice is just let them run free.
Okay,
She's
then.
like, just let them go. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, they're not gonna die.
No, but there were like stags and does running
Jesus
around.
Christ.
insane, but
okay,
then-
Snow White.
I exactly. But it was super cute because at one point,
Yeah.
when we were getting our hair and makeup done on Saturday for the wedding, I'm like trying to find Flynn and I'm running around and there was an elevator, and so someone said, "I think she's in the elevator," and I press the button and they come up and it's Flynn and the 2 other little girls, and they have a little tea set up in the elevator, and they're just drinking tea and eating sandwiches and going up and down. And she's like, "Go away, we're having tea." I was like, I mean, as long as you're in the elevator, you're safe, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And I got like, it's been a really
No,
long-
she goes, "No, we're not gonna do it in the garden, you guys. Even though we're in Scotland and it's
No.
like beautiful outside. You know what?
elevator. Yep, 100%. Like that's just like, yeah. But it was cool because it's been a really long time since
Yeah.
all 5 of me
siblings.
and all 5 siblings have been together. So
Yeah.
it was super fun. Like, my brother and his wife. It was just insane. It's at a freaking castle in Scotland. They had fireworks. I'm just
Jesus
like, it was
Wow.
like so wild. There was like a bagpipe player and a string quartet and a band and a DJ. And I was like, yes, you guys are
Jesus.
doing better than us.
Yeah,
I
you're
get
like,
it.
we get it.
We get it.
Yeah.
It was like on our trip because our friend Steven, firefighter Steven, who went, he's very good in the water. And at one point, everybody was like, "We know, Steven, you can swim. Stop diving off the boat. You're showing up." Okay, Esther Williams, calm down.
We get it.
We get it.
And you guys
Yeah.
could live in this castle.
Yeah.
But no, it was super fun. Edinburgh is cool.
I liked Edinburgh when I was there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just everywhere you look is like history, and
Yeah.
everywhere you go, there's just like, and it's funny too because we went to go to there's a castle in Edinburgh, and we went to go and
Up
there's
on the hill, the big
up
one,
on the
right?
hill,
Yeah.
so beautiful, and we're like, we're gonna go, and the girls were playing, and there's a park outside. And the girls just started playing in the park, and they're like, "We're fairies now. We're not going in that castle." And then for 2 hours, they just played in the park. And I was like, "Is this what you're going to tell people when you get home?" Like, what was the best thing about Edinburgh?
The park.
I went to a park, and then they
was
just
a
like got
fairy.
filthy, and we were fairies.
Wow.
But it-
They're kids.
They're
Yeah.
kids, and she like had such a good time,
Oh,
and
cool.
everyone in Scotland is so nice.
I will agree with that. When I went, everybody I ran into and met, they were just ready to talk, and they
Yeah.
just were had a very charming and open person. Like the people there,
They were like, "Let me carry your bags." Especially when it was
Yeah.
Flynn and I. Like this guy, like got us on the bus. He like walked us. This bus driver, I was like, "Is this like the bus to the airport?" And he's like, "No, but hop on, I'll take you there." And it's like a bus full of people.
Yeah.
And he's like,
That's
"Just gonna
awesome.
take her to the airport bus." And
No,
everyone's
is that
like,
your Scottish accent?
"Yeah, was that okay?"
That's better. Yeah, than mine.
I did trick one night. We went out
Yeah.
and I did trick 2 Irish guys into thinking I was Irish.
Wow.
Let's hear your Irish accent.
So they
Go.
were like, I was like, "What do you mean I'm not from Ireland? You're not from Ireland." And they're like talking to me, and they're like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "Killarney." And they're like, "You're not from Killarney, but you're from somewhere trashier."
okay.
Wow.
And I was like, whatever, I'll take it. I'm still tricking you.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
But it was like cool because you can walk everywhere. I mean, it is just wild to like how accessible everything is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Like
For sure.
I will say one of the things I forgot about Europe is that the service is not so great.
oh, it's terrible.
Oh no,
Because you could be like, oh, I'd like, do you have a croissant or something for breakfast? No.
No.
Well, do you know where to get one?
No.
They do not
And
care.
that's the end.
That's
End of the
like-
conversation. They're
so
done.
unhelpful.
And half of the time they just can't be bothered.
yeah,
they can't
they're
be bothered.
so annoyed you're there.
Yeah, Flynn and I went to this cafe and I handed this woman like a 5-pound note or something. She's like, I don't have change for that. And I was like, is this not a business? I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I wouldn't even begin to know how to get change for that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
All right. Okay, then. Have a nice day.
Fun.
Oh, but that was our trips. I mean,
Yeah.
we
took
all were out of the
trips.
country for,
Yeah.
for our break, which was
I-
great. I loved it. It was fun. I
Yeah.
can't wait. So our next trip that is going around is Cuba.
Yeah, that's the
That's what we're
talk.
talking about
Yeah.
next year.
My next door neighbor growing up,
Yeah.
the dad was from Cuba.
Oh,
And
I've
like,
never been. I've always wanted to.
Yeah.
I think it's
I
gonna be
hear
great.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be our next one. But right now, you guys, we're going to take a quick
Oh,
15-minute break because I need to get more alcohol in my body
Yeah.
and go to the bathroom. But we will be right
But,
back.
like, so quick.
Dildos?
Cups
No.
that said cheers queers. And I was like, I feel like personally attacked.
You did? Why?
This is just like they
You're
just
like,
took it-
as
I
a
was like,
queer woman.
as a queer woman, they're just like, cheers, queers. And I was like, I was not prepared for this.
You do not have the right.
You have not
I
gone
just
through what
wanted
I've
some
gone through Target.
sparkling water.
Yeah.
Target.
I'm like, just wanted a bunch
It's
of shit I don't need.
LaCroix.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, this reminded. So on social media, I've been seeing a lot of these stories in Hillcrest happening, or people posting about it. How certain bars, gay bars, don't feel gay anymore. That there's
Huh.
a lot of straight people going. This is nothing
Yes.
against straight people, but they're disrespectful.
No offense, straight people.
No offense. Coming into gay spaces and not having the respect. I know we've talked about this
Yeah.
on a lot, but I've seen posts more and more about it lately, especially with a couple local bars here like Flicks and Riches, how people are like, I remember when those bars were gay. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And
yeah.
how now it's a lot of straight women coming and
Straight women. That's what I was. It was straight
women coming with their very insecure straight boyfriends, and then maybe one gay friend. But it's a lot of. But the thing is when you come in, they're coming into these spaces, they're just being very disrespectful and rude, and even calling bartenders and stuff the F word.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, some people were posting about it on social media, and it just made me think. And I was just like, maybe this is why I don't go out as much.
Yeah.
And because I wouldn't hold my mouth, I'd be like, "You need to get out."
I feel like the bridal parties are the worst.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Like, because bridal parties will also go into like strip clubs too.
Yeah.
And be rude to the dancers and stuff, and it's like, what are you doing?
And messy too, like just
Messy.
so drunk that they can't stand and walk
Yeah.
and spill their drinks on you. And
And also, it's like it's very confusing because if you're a woman at a gay bar and I am there,
Yeah.
like, what's up?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, "Ew,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
my boyfriend," and I'm
And
like,
you're like, well, why are you
"Why
here?
are you here? That is not Cheers Queers."
Yeah.
It's the
But I was
opposite.
thinking, because I was thinking about it, I'm just like, God, I remember when, like, it feels like, well, now that everything has to be inclusion and diversity, it feels like, oh, okay, well, we want it to be part of it, so this is maybe part of being inclusive.
yeah, I think
To an
that's.
extent?
I see the
I
counter
guess.
argument of like everyone's welcome. It's a safe space for all people, and I think if you're respectful, like that's awesome. I love that. I
Yeah,
love,
that's fine. Yeah.
You're definitely welcome, but it's
But
also
you have to be respectful.
You're in a way you're like a guest in someone else's home. and-
Exactly.
This is what
Exactly.
I was
Yeah.
remember. Okay, before everything was so inclusive, as a queer person, especially an older queer person, that we used to only have gay nights. Gay
Mhm.
nights.
Yeah, like there was
Yeah.
one
So
night.
why, if you're coming into a gay space, a gay bar, why don't we just have straight nights? Turn it around.
God,
Because
that's
that's
such a
what we
good
had to deal
idea.
with for years,
Yeah.
decades.
That is
We only
such a
got
good
one
idea.
night.
One night a month
Yeah,
sometimes.
and
Hey.
sometimes that's all you got. You didn't even get a gay bar in your town.
No.
Yeah.
So you
That's
know what?
still
That's what I'm
happening.
saying. Propose a straight night.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
we're gonna wear like what's it gonna be? Budweiser,
Taps,
Coors.
Paps, and Coors.
Oh, a new
You know what? We're gonna get canceled.
a new gay bar
know.
actually opened up.
Which one?
Since we've been on last, and bar
And
where Salad to Go Go used to be
Oh.
is now a bar called.
I did not know
So
this.
it's in front
Oh.
of Board and Barrel, and it's kind of a take of And Barrel. So now it's called And Bar. I went there this week, and they have happy hour from 8 to 10, which I think is so smart
8
because
to
it's right
10.
next to
Yep.
Flicks.
Wait a minute. So Salad to Go used to be the old cachet, and it had the food.
It was the taco place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they turned no food anymore,
No
and now it's just a bar.
It's just a bar called And Bar.
Oh,
And
I gotta check it
yeah,
out.
it's Mark Pepperoni Playboy is one of the bartenders
Mhm.
there.
Mm.
Yeah, and they have happy hour from 8 to 10, which is like
nice.
so smart.
Can
That
you
is very
still
smart.
get into like the back way to
Yeah.
cachet where
Yeah.
you
Yeah, it's all still
Oh,
back there. It's just
okay.
a more casual bar up front. And
Oh, I
like,
love
That's
that. I gotta
cool.
check it out.
yeah,
We gotta go.
yeah, it was cool. We had a great time.
Is Mo part of the ownership for that?
I
or
believe
is
so.
this-
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sure. Yeah,
Oh, how
Yeah.
cool! I
We
didn't even
should-
know that.
Do an episode from a bar one time.
Yeah, I mean we do have the portable. We could take
Yeah,
it
we
That'd be
anywhere.
should.
fun.
We could take it anywhere.
We could just comment on the people that come in and out.
Yeah, can we just sit in a corner and commentate and judge and
isn't
hold
that
a
Who
what?
do you think
Isn't that
you
what we do
are?
anyways?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. We'll just be doing it live,
Oh God!
like Mystery Science Theater for
Theater.
real people.
Oh, I love that. I was obsessed with Mystery
Oh
Science
my gosh,
Theater.
it was so good.
It was so good when
Oh,
it came
Tony
out.
and I have the same taste in
Yeah,
Yeah,
everything.
very
Such
much.
We're such like movies and TV nerds.
The
Yeah.
only thing that psychic said that I fully agree with is that we are. What did she
Which
say?
psychic was this?
Shall
Shall we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
is that we're partnerships throughout
Yeah,
lifetimes.
throughout life.
Mm,
Throughout
yeah.
life.
I believe that.
Whether it's good or bad.
Seriously, that's true.
Okay. So wait, no. Since we were talking about TV and stuff.
Yeah. I
You
set up a
guys.
segue for you.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad you finally
Thank
got
you.
it.
Shut
Thank
your
you.
mouth, bitch. Okay, there has been a lot of TV show movies that came out on break. There's been a lot going on since we were on hiatus. I know for me personally, I kind of haven't really been going out. I took a break from everything, which I think is super healthy. You need to take unplug once in a while.
Yeah.
But I feel like I was like, once we start season 6, then I'll get back to like a social life and going to the drag shows and all that.
Will you though?
More so than I did. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's all relative.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I've been catching up on a lot of TV, and there has been some controversial stuff that's been coming out,
Yeah.
stuff I can't wait to see. So first, I wanted to talk about Dahmer.
Okay.
So it's a new Netflix show that came out, and it's done by Ryan Murphy and Ian. I forget his last name, but they're co-producers, co-writers, and it's the story of Jeffrey Dahmer, and it's a series on Netflix. I was like, I'm gonna watch it just because it's Ryan Murphy. I want to see how he does it because he typically does a different take on it.
Yeah.
It's Evan Peters is in the role of Jeffrey Dahmer, and then what's her name? Not Niecy Leakes. Oh God, I can't
Niecy
remember.
Nash?
Niecy Nash. Sorry.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, she is in it, and this is the disappointing part. They promoted that she had a big role. She's in like the first 2 episodes, and then kind of tinkers off. And I'm like, what? First off, I don't think we needed this series. I
No.
don't think it needed to be told. And I do agree with all the criticism that why is it on Netflix put under LGBT film? Because that doesn't represent the LGBT community. Just
Is
because
it put
he
under
was,
LGBT?
It was. That was one of the
Wait, are they
biggest-
saying because Ryan Murphy made it?
No, well, maybe, and because it's Jeffrey Dahmer was gay and he killed gay.
He
Yeah,
was
there
a
was.
very confused man. That
So
like,
the criticism was really the backlash on Dahmer was a lot. So recently, Netflix took it out of the LGBT category because of all the backlash. I
Wow.
started it, got through episode 5, and my problem with it is it's a story that we don't. I remember when he got arrested. I was in 91 or 2. I was in junior high, freshman year. I remember all of it. And I remember how, like, wow, this is like evil to the core. Like, one, why do we need to retell his story? And I think Ryan Murphy did a horrible job trying to humanize him. I don't think he needs to be humanized. I
So
don't think the story needs to be told again.
the way that Ryan Murphy tells stories is like very humanistic, but also like a little campy. And this is a
Yes.
very
Dark.
real thing that happened. And there are family members of the victims still alive and walking around right now, and that is just so terrible. And that, I mean, that's true of any time. And I am guilty of like loving true crime. But they just made My Friend Dahmer, which was
Yeah.
about his like high school years. And then they
Yeah.
just did the one with Zac Efron where he played Jeffrey Dahmer, and then they released all of his tapes. So it just feels like, why are we doing this now?
Yeah. But the problem for me was just how Ryan Murphy tried to make him human. And I'm like, we don't need that. We don't need
No.
that. One, the families don't need to relive it. They
Exactly.
didn't get any compensation for using their stories,
Ugh.
you know. And me going as a horror junkie,
Exactly.
I went in maybe thinking maybe that was it. It was very boring torture porn is what it was. It was very, I was like, I'm not interested. I don't want to relive this. I don't want to hear about it. I'm good. I turned it off after episode 5. I will say Evan Peters is an amazing actor.
love him
and
so
does
much.
a great job. The cast is really cool, but the way the story is told, it's just not interesting. And I don't think it needs to be told. I'm like, I was over it.
I mean, you have to think about when things just become exploitative.
yeah.
Like, what are you trying to do right now?
And I think because it wasn't that long ago.
It was pretty recent, like
Yeah.
you know, like in history, and
Yeah.
it was, you know, pretty disgustingly brutal.
Disgustingly brutal.
And what he was trying to do and who he was as a man was so
Yeah.
messed up, and he was basically trying to create like a sex zombie. And he was like a messed up person. And what we do when we make these things, I'm like you know, I had a podcast.
Why are you making?
I'm making documentaries. I was gonna say, just like us, even as true crime or horror fans,
Yeah.
what we do when we sort of like wear the T-shirts that are like Ed Gein or like
Yeah.
Dahmer for life, is that we're like upholding the legacy of these disgusting, brutal killers and forgetting the victims. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
terrible because a lot of the people now, like, like Charles Manson, like, died of cancer and of old age.
Yeah.
And he was getting, women asking him to marry him.
Yeah.
And like, it's all that stuff. And so what we do is we make them infamous. We make them famous.
That's what. And I feel like they just need to be forgotten.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's my personal
Yeah.
opinion. I think there's people out there who probably think differently,
Or
but whatever.
maybe told in a documentary format where it's
Yeah.
educational, where you learn, but not glamorized.
But my thing is, it's like it's already been done. Why do
so
we
many
need
times.
it again?
Yeah.
And if
Stop.
you were to do something where it was the lives of the victims
Yeah.
and
there.
what beautiful full lives they had and the struggles that they had and how this man came in and,
You know why I also think a lot of the criticism for the Jeffrey Dahmer is really negative is because in the last couple years, probably 3 years, we've been through a lot as a country, as
Yeah.
a
So much.
society.
So
It seems like
much.
one bad thing after another. Why do we need a TV show to add to it?
Yeah.
do we need to remember just how gross and disgusting the people that we walk next to are?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
come
do we have to be
on.
scared in that way? And
Yeah.
believe me, I love true crime.
I do too. But then again, it's like that was a big thing. So maybe tides are turning and true crime's not going to be the most popular thing anymore.
yeah, maybe people
Yeah.
are like,
Maybe
"Let's not
people are
do
like, I
this."
need something funny.
Yeah,
Make me
I need to
laugh.
escape a little bit.
Yeah,
please.
escapism.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
Ugh.
talk about
Give
the
me some Little
victims.
Mermaid.
But Little
Yeah.
Mermaid.
Little
Okay,
Mermaid.
so that was the other controversy we didn't cover on the show is the trailer drop for Little Mermaid, which I have been so excited for because I love
Yes.
Haley Bailey, who's playing Ariel. I think so Melissa McCarthy is playing Ursula, which is going to be very interesting. Javar, no, what's his name?
Javier Bardem.
Bardem is playing King Titan.
Mhm.
So it's a very diverse cast, which I love. And I love that you have Little Mermaid is a young African American girl, and Ursula is an older white
woman. Well, I mean, really though.
yeah.
Yeah.
They should have. My personal opinion is they should have casted it with a drag queen
Yeah.
because that
Yes,
was the
that's what it was
original
based
source
off
was
of.
Yeah,
off of Divine.
Divine.
So
yeah.
the trailer looks just that little snippet looks so good, and I love that she's doing her own take on the song.
Yes, on the
Yeah.
song.
And we don't
making
get
it her
the
own.
original.
Yeah.
But the people were like, why did they class the black girl as Ariel? And it's like, mermaids don't exist.
Yeah. yeah.
I've got a
So-
spoiler alert for you. It's made up.
Yeah.
People are like, well, mermaids would live in Scandinavia. And it's like,
No, they
mermaids don't
wouldn't.
live anywhere.
Where, you
No.
dumbasses.
They live nowhere and
They
they're not
live in
real.
your fantasy.
Uh-uh.
Sorry.
So
Oh,
I don't care.
Can you imagine all of the gay mermaid costumes we're gonna get next Halloween?
Go.
Yes, I love it.
Everybody and their mother's gonna be Ariel.
Yeah.
But have you guys seen the videos of the little girls reacting?
Yes,
For
Yes.
the first
Yes.
time, and she's like, she looks
Yes.
like me, and
Yeah.
like,
Ah.
oh my god, that's
Breaks
so
my
so
heart.
weird.
I
It,
know.
it breaks your heart.
Yeah. That
You have a heart?
They,
This is the first time.
You were just thinking of it too. I cut your
You
I
did.
beat you to the
You
punch.
did.
it's soaked in vodka, but
Yeah.
yes, I do have a heart.
Vodka and sin.
Yeah.
And chilaquiles. No,
Nachos for breakfast?
Nachos
Nachos
for
for
breakfast.
breakfast.
I have to tell the story. So Caesar went to go visit. We went to visit my parents.
and for
first
people who
time.
don't know, Caesar's your partner. so
Yes,
yeah.
my boyfriend. Yes, and he met my parents for the first time, and he made them chilaquiles, and my dad kept saying nachos for breakfast.
We're putting that on a shirt, not just for breakfast.
Nachos for breakfast? Question mark?
That is amazing.
Uh,
But no, I'm excited for Little Mermaid. I think it's going to be great. I really do.
It's gonna be amazing, and it's a whole. And it was so cute how the original voice of the mermaid
Yeah.
was like, sent her a message
Oh, I
saying
know.
that she was like so excited.
Oh,
and
Aw.
Judy.
Jody,
Jody.
something I can't
She
remember
hates
her
the
last name.
gays.
She
Does
does.
she?
Yeah, there was an article that came out. She was
Uh,
Oh well,
all
then
against-
fuck her. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember me and Miriam T
What?
talked about that on the show.
That makes
Yeah.
me so sad.
No,
Oh well,
bitch.
fuck her then.
I could be wrong.
Well, then
Maybe she
good.
changed. Maybe she changed, and you know, she got touched by some lesbian.
Whatever,
Can I
okay, then
segue
Hallie-
for a second?
Yeah.
So because Caesar and I now live together, he watches a lot of TV when I go to bed early at night.
Yeah.
And my Apple TV is having the best time with my algorithm of like
no.
recommending Snoopy and all these
Oh,
Disney
no.
cartoons now.
How
They're
do
like,
you
what? Is
combine
there a
these?
12-year-old
They're like,
living
what
with
Like,
us? Is there a
finally,
6-year-old?
finally, we get to bring some
I've- The
lightheartedness.
strangest
I know.
recommendations now.
We're like, how do we mesh these
Yeah.
two?
Yeah, it's really interesting to watch that happen.
Oh God.
I am so excited for the Little Mermaid. Flynn's so excited for it
bet,
too,
I
and
bet.
it's like it's super cool.
The other show that I watched that I was obsessed with and I was so enjoying was Sandman. So
Gwendolyn
Sandman,
Christie
yeah.
as Lucifer. I have never been more attracted to anyone in my life.
I was
Her-
that is
that little curly page boy. I was like,
So
what's
good.
happening into my
So,
body?
For people who don't know, Sandman's based off of the comic book written by Neil Gershwin.
Gaiman.
Gaiman, sorry. Back in the early 90s. I remember the comic when it came out, loved it. And it was very, for the 90s, great. So they redid it into a TV series. Controversy with casting because they changed up sex, they changed up race for a lot of the characters, and people were like flipping out and saying like it's forced diversity casting. Why do we need to change the characters? Because it's affecting the story. Where Neil, the guy that wrote the original comic book,
Yeah.
came back and said, if I were to write Sandman now, this is how I would have written it.
Oh.
This is how I would have cast it.
He
and it's
wrote
like
it!
he wrote it. That's
Yeah.
why the show was changed, because he's like, oh no, we're in 2022. If I were to rewrite it now, this is how I would write
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And it is stunningly beautiful.
It's so good. And
It
I
was
don't know.
really
I
good.
never read it.
yeah.
I knew of it, but I just like randomly was like, I'm gonna watch this, and I was immediately sucked in, and I loved it.
Yeah.
And
It
again,
was-
Gwendolyn Christie as Lucifer. Check it out.
She actually, like, her Lucifer was
So good.
amazing. I'm going to look at, because this is going to, her, talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good.
Flynn?
Okay, never mind.
Oh,
Now
okay.
we're done.
All right.
All right.
So
Great talk.
Janine Coleman is her name.
Oh, yeah,
She
the-
plays John Constantine, but it's Joanna Constantine in the show. That was the one thing that I was like, it was a little hard for me
I
to do.
loved her.
Really?
I was like, this is fine.
I didn't. She
It's
was the only
good.
one. I was expecting like them to bring Keanu Reeves back.
Keanu
as
Reeves
Gus.
back.
That would have been amazing.
Because you were invested in Keanu Reeves.
That's-
It wasn't
yes.
the sex. It was
yeah,
anyone
maybe
other
that.
than Keanu Reeves was
Yeah,
not
that
okay
makes
for you.
sense.
Yeah, but that was the only one that I was just like, okay.
I mean, like having a baseline of nothing,
Yeah.
walking into it, I was like, this is great. And
It was great. I loved it. I loved
I
it.
just
I
like-
binged it, and then they have a secret episode, like an
yes,
extra.
they have a secret one with the
But within the
Greeks.
comic books, this is only book 1 out of 10, I think.
Mhm.
So I can't wait to see what they do with the series. I think it's brilliantly cast. I think the writing was great. I love the little changes they made. As a fan of the comic book, and then seeing it now, this happens for a lot of the Marvel stuff because I grew up as a comic book kid. So seeing the stuff I grew up now on TV and movies with all the special, it is like the best ever.
That's cool.
Well, because I can do like being so into X-Men as a young person.
Yeah.
And then like seeing the original iterations of the X-Men, I was like, this sucks.
Oh, and the ones that with Holly Berry as
yeah,
Storm
it
and
was like
stuff. Yeah.
so hard. And then
Yeah.
like, but you get stuff now that's like, oh, like the Scarlet Witch is like true. Like
True. Yeah.
it's getting better.
The other, did you guys
Yeah.
see Blonde on Netflix? The
I heard
Marilyn
it was
Monroe.
really gross, so I didn't watch it.
I watched it. It was hard to get through. I didn't like it. I didn't like
the
it.
director was like, basically, I don't care about Marilyn Monroe,
Wow.
and her feminism is uninteresting.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would do not recommend it. I watched it
Talk
because I
about
wanted to.
exploitative.
Yeah, it felt like that. It felt like a snuff film or something really
Huh.
pornographic. I
Do
didn't
you
like
remember that Mira Sorvino, Ashley Judd version of Marilyn Monroe, where
No.
Ashley Judd played Norma Jean and Mira Sorvino played Marilyn? And
Yes.
I just remember thinking, this is gross.
it. Yes,
like
I was
the way that
bad.
they're treating. I remember this one scene where they said like the scene like the famous Marilyn Monroe where her skirt's going up.
Mm-hmm.
They kept talking about how they had to bring her more pairs of underwear because she was like getting her underwear dirty. And I was like, this is so. Let this woman rest.
The one
Yeah.
thing with Blonde, it shows you how disgusting old Hollywood and how misogynist it was, and even
Yeah.
now
Well,
still.
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
still, but like, what do you do? What do you showcasing by a male director who said he's like, I'm going to show that
Yeah.
old Hollywood.
let
was
a
gross
woman direct it.
Yeah.
by still being gross and
You
saying,
know what series I thought was really well done was, and I binged it, A League of Their Own.
oh
Oh,
my
yeah.
God, Abby
So
Jacobson.
good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why is our mics off?
Our
Hold
mics
on.
are off.
Something's going on. Sorry, guys.
It's like I feel like we're Amish now.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Now we're back.
Now we're
there
back.
we go.
Yeah.
A League of Their
A
Own.
League of Their
Amazing.
Own, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was such
sorry. Hit the
such
wrong
an
button.
interesting way that like they told two storylines of
Mhm.
two different women who were going through similar oppressions but very different oppressions in different ways, and just tied them in and out together was just
Yeah.
so well done.
Like without ignoring the problematic parts of it, like still telling the story while being like, you could be a person going through this and still not be going through the worst of what was
The-
happening
the
when you were
shit of it
alive.
all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
is your obsession right now? TV show?
Mm,
There's two. This just reminded me. Two San Diego queens.
Oh yeah.
yes. So
Talk about it.
we started La Mastraga, which is great. They now have it and subtitled in English.
Amazing.
So thank you on YouTube. Thank you for
Thank you for
throwing
hearing
me a
us.
bone.
Yeah.
That helps.
And explain what that is for people who don't know.
So it's a drag competition show, very similar to RuPaul Drag Race,
But not affiliated with RuPaul's
not
Drag Race.
affiliated at all. It's based out of like Mexico, South America, and so they pull a lot of queens from there, which is great. They're on season 4 right now, which is wonderful that there's some kind of representation because.
Oh,
RuPaul Drag
5.
Race
Season
Mexico
5.
is
You were just
barely
corrected. Season 5.
RuPaul Drag Race is barely starting up Mexico, which seems
Ugh.
crazy that
After-
they're
That is
everywhere else.
crazy.
How many? We're on
Yeah.
season what? 14, 15?
How
Yeah.
many
And they're-
legends, or like we've done legends,
Other
we've done how many
countries.
all-stars, like
Yeah.
other countries, yeah.
It's
And
so
you would
insane.
think that Mexico would have been the first because it's our neighbor to the south.
Exactly.
Yeah, and there's so many queens down
Yeah.
there. There's like there's so many to choose from.
Yeah.
So
and there have been a lot of really like Puerto Rican queens that have been on RuPaul's Drag Race that are
Yes.
amazing.
yeah,
But you're right; it's so surprising that they're barely
They're barely,
scratching
yeah.
it.
barely,
just
yeah,
now doing
and
it.
it makes me wonder what happens to this show, like
Yeah.
because it's the first one, it's the original one. I hope it doesn't get
Oh, because
swallowed
now that
up.
it's swallowed up by
Two
them.
local
But-
queens.
Yeah.
Yes. So there were two queens. So normally they release like Drag Race, they release the queens and they do the interviews, and so you know who all of them are. But they keep two that are surprised, so they don't
Ooh.
get revealed until the first episode.
Yeah.
So they reveal them, and it's actually San Diego queens,
Yes.
Isabella and
the
Catalina.
twins.
The
yeah.
twins here who are competing together as one unit.
That is so interesting to me.
Yeah.
And we've
Very
talked about them on the
interesting.
show before because they've done Courtney or
Yeah.
Strawberry Corn Cakes.
Ultimate Drag Brunch.
Ultimate Drag Brunch. They're great there. They've done #1 on Fifth.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been
And they're
around in the
up
city.
and coming and
Yeah.
just so talented and very polished and professional looking.
Yeah.
This-
And they have a
Yeah.
good rep. Other queens that I've talked about, because I've been curious, I'm like, who are these girls?
Yeah.
They have nothing but positive things to say about them.
Yeah.
The
so.
sibling rivalry that must cause them.
As a
to
twin,
be like,
I'm
you-
curious.
You better be as good as me,
Yeah,
bitch.
Yeah.
You're not gonna
Yeah.
be better
Well,
than me.
they're
get
very
down.
young, right?
They're very I think they're under 25.
See, they
Still adults.
Yeah.
This is what I'm curious. When they each set of twins that I know hit a point when they're like, I want my individuality.
Yeah.
I know Manny and I did. So I'm curious to see when that hits for them, how they will handle it, especially building a business as a unit.
Yeah, I think it's hard though. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a twin, but like when your business and your income is based on you, like like the
Yeah.
Olsons.
Yeah.
like, they're never gonna be.
No.
Right.
That's right.
But
Like,
do
maybe
they need
privately,
to care
but,
of
like,
as much money they
oh
have?
my
Like,
God, exactly.
you know they
That's the
really hate
dream.
each other.
No.
All
Oh, they
like
have
now
to.
they just spend all their time plotting to kill the other one.
Yeah,
That's all they
exactly.
do.
I
Like,
think
I'll
they spend
never.
all their time doing drugs. Apparently.
And trying to plot each other's deaths.
Deaths.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that sounds like me and Manny's memoirs.
Oh my God, I would love that.
miniseries. Or straight to TV miniseries.
Too twin to die.
One, two enter, one leave.
Oh my God!
Next on Lifetime.
The TV show Echoes. Have you guys watched that?
Echo?
No.
God, it's terrible. It's about twins. It's about identical twins, though.
What is it about though?
Well,
with
we
twins?
won't. I'll tell you offline. We don't have to
Okay.
muck up the episode.
Muck up you don't think we've mucked it up enough?
No, we got.
We're in that part of the show.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what we do.
Yeah, it's like an hour in. We're like, time to muck it up.
Like, what else were we gonna talk
Speaking
about?
of
Yeah.
muck,
The Queen
Hocus
dying.
Pocus?
Yeah,
Hocus
that muck.
Pocus too.
Oh, okay.
You got the reference, right?
Yes.
Muck.
Muck.
Yeah,
Muck,
Hocus
muck,
Pocus
muck,
2
muck.
dropped last night. I haven't watched it yet because, as you know, my idol Bette Midler is in it. So I have reserved all of Sunday to enjoy myself with Hocus Pocus.
The reviews
2.
are interesting. I will say that.
I am already, this is my thing. The first one, camp, 100%.
I was gonna say the first
I
one.
am not expecting it to be Spielberg level. You know, I know what I'm getting for.
Yeah.
I'm ready to have fun, get super stoned, and really.
That
like,
is what this is for. This
Yeah.
is not for anyone else. This is for us.
For millennials.
for me.
This is
no,
Yeah.
it was
for
made for me.
you.
Yeah.
Me personally.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is for.
I messaged Bet and I said I want a
us.
Hocus Pocus too, and she said yes.
She's like,
darling,
"Yes, bitch."
Yeah,
We're
we got
getting
that
it
Disney
too.
Plus money now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because originally they weren't going to have her
No.
in it, and people
Lost their
rebelled
mind.
because
Yeah.
it's not for anyone other than us.
Yeah,
Like it's not to
that
make
we got.
money. It's not to entertain anyone else. It's not to bring a new series or generation into the franchise.
No.
What
It is
franchise?
for exactly. It is for. This is not Jurassic
Yeah.
Park. This is for us.
This is our Jurassic Park,
It
our
really
queer
is.
Jurassic Park. I'm all for it. I can't wait to watch it Sunday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. I purposely didn't watch it because I was like, I need to be in the moment, and I really want to be stoned
You
out of
need
my
the right
mind with
time and
like so
space.
much Taco Bell in front of
Oh
me.
my god, that sounds so
or
nice.
Sonic. Yeah. Like get
So
my
nice.
foot-long chili dog. and
Great
s-
idea.
ah,
A full
and just
charcuterie
sit
board.
and
of
watch
Sonic.
it. I even might.
Sonic
Sonic and
charcuterie.
Taco Bell. Oh, charcuterie.
Ah, they should sponsor us. Anyways, I'm gonna watch Hocus Pocus 1 first, sober, and then I'm gonna get really stoned and then put in 2.
Okay.
love it.
Watch it. That's
Good
my
idea.
day. That's my day tomorrow. If
Yeah.
anybody wants to join,
Yeah, I'm watching it tonight.
you are.
Yeah, with my daughter.
We'll be at Red Dress.
Oh yeah, I'll be at home watching Hocus
Yeah.
Pocus and matching shirts with my
Oh
7-year-old.
God. Oh, we didn't talk about the Queen died.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Segue.
I don't
The Queen
care.
died. You know, it's really sad because she is the oldest monarch. She was
Yeah.
the longest monarch. She
Yeah.
died at 90. What was she? 98? I don't know. She was old.
99, like she
99.
almost made it.
But
to
we all knew
100.
it was coming this year because she's had major health
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
So, when she passed, the first thing I think, I'm obsessed with these time travelers on TikTok that claim shut up, you guys. They claim to be time travelers from everybody's had a prediction of when the Queen's gonna die. Nobody was right. They said, of course, it was gonna happen this year, which I was like, I could have told you that. This woman's
Yeah.
like, she's
Well,
knocking out
they
death's
say that
door.
every year until it happens.
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
You know what's funny about the time traveler TikToks? None of it comes true. So the videos, once it doesn't come true, they come down right away. They take that
yeah.
shit down right away.
Mhm.
Like,
So
we
a
were doing it
couple-
off the lunar calendar,
There.
actually.
the
happens a
Mayan
lot.
calendar. Oh wait, that ended.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no.
But on September 24th, apparently that whole not scandal, but that controversy went out about the German political guy saying everybody's going to remember September 24th and what's going to happen on that day. And so they ran with it because Denver was having bug out bags.
Yeah.
And for what's it called, like the precaution month, I forget what
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
called. So people were freaking out, saying the world's gonna end on September 24th. Guess what? It did end. But one of my friends was really convinced that we were all gonna die.
We're not going to name him.
He knows who he is, and he's gonna listen to this.
Hmm.
I just find it all hilarious. the time
Yeah.
traveler.
To get caught up in that.
The other thing is if you guys follow these time traveler things, look at the comments because people are ruthless to these people.
That's
It's
probably
so
the best
good.
part.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Well, I just always think about like 7 Monkeys, where he actually is a time traveler.
12 monkeys.
12 months.
I-
7 monkeys.
That still means
my
nothing
math
to me.
is
My
really
face
bad,
went
like,
like,
rapid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking?
His face
what
went
did
blank
12
like he
monkeys
does
do?
every time he sees
What
a
do
Mary
monkeys
MT
do?
show.
I was like, monkeys can tell the future. That's what Darwin said.
They're on a bunch of typewriters just typing out.
Just telling the future.
Yeah.
With white gloves.
Yeah.
Why white gloves?
Just to not get their fingers dirty on the typewriter.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
nice.
Yeah.
You made them very gentlemanly.
I thought it was
Yeah.
the ASI, the cooler guys. San Diego. Do you know what I'm talking about,
Yes,
friend? There's
I
a
do.
commercial that
Yeah,
runs
yeah,
here in
like
San
that.
Diego, and it's the ASI cooler guys, and they wear white gloves. when they do
Oh,
it. Yeah.
yes.
So the only interesting thing that I really like that caught my attention about the Queen dying is
Yes.
that when Charles married Camilla,
Yeah.
there was like a caveat put down that they would give Charles this title and then Camilla would get a title, but that Camilla would never take the title of Queen.
No.
As
Consort.
you know,
She's queen consort. Or
no,
something
but
like
she
that,
was
right?
never supposed to have queen in her title at all. It was always supposed to be
Oh.
like whatever, like countess of something or whatever. And they signed it. They were like, they promised no matter what happens when Charles becomes king, Camilla will never have queen in her
Yeah.
title as like a show of respect to Diana and also like because
Yeah.
of the tampon stuff. And
Tampons.
remember Charles told Camilla like, I wish I was your tampon.
I do remember.
I remember that now that you said it.
Yeah.
That's gross.
And
Sorry. but
the
no.
second he became king, she took on the title of queen consort.
Oh.
And so that was the thing. I was like, oh, Camilla, I always knew.
Yeah.
I always knew you.
She's
were
like,
just-
I got all the memes that came out. The best one was the picture. It looked like the queen climbing over a gate, and it said, "Diana, open these goddamn pearly gates." That was.
oh,
the best
I
one.
love
Yeah.
that.
I loved all the memes. that came
Also,
out.
I do love how there was a lot of news coverage acknowledging that, like, there were a lot of countries that were not treated very well under her ruling.
Yep.
And, like, maybe we don't need to celebrate her as much as we probably
Yeah.
are. Like,
So there was a rugby player, a female rugby player from like Australia or New Zealand that was like, I'm glad she's dead, this dumb dog. And
dog.
because she was like in like a First People,
Yeah,
was like an
yeah.
indigenous in like New Zealand, and they suspended her for a game and fined her.
wow.
What? Why?
And she was like, I'm just saying, like, this woman has been terrible to my people,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
enslaved
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
like,
and,
you know.
and their wealth has come from these
Fro-
countries.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes.
And they
Yeah.
were like, you know,
I mean, for me personally, I was just like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
she's dead.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't-
sad. I mean, anybody who dies, it's
I
sad.
was
mean,
I
any
was more
human
upset by
life.
Coolio passing this
Oh
week.
my
I
Oh,
God.
Coolio.
I know.
Well,
Dangerous Minds.
I know.
Well, none of our
soundtrack.
people survived. Coolio.
I know.
God
Grammy
damn it.
award-winning
Damn.
Coolio.
I mean, like, I did cry when Heath Ledger died.
Did-
And when Coolio
oh,
died, I was
yeah.
also so upset. And
Yeah.
Gene
What
Wilder.
celebrity has really, really done it in for you? when
Gene
they pass?
Wilder.
Oh, I can
I know
see
he was
that.
older, but like when he died, I was really just like, oh God.
Yeah, none for me yet.
None?
Yeah, I
None?
mean, when God forbid the day Bette Miller dies,
Oh yeah.
I would take a week off of
Mm.
work.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can
You?
get FMLA
Any
for that?
celebrities?
You know, I
You're
was,
like Selena's. No, I'm kidding.
no,
That's
I was
Cesar.
actually really sad when Aaliyah died. Like I remember
That was
That
shocking.
was
That
a big
was
I
deal.
so
remember that.
shocking.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was a
Yeah.
big deal
Passed
for me.
away. Wow, this
Yeah.
really got morbid.
Yeah.
This shit
We should
really
watch,
took a
we,
turn.
we should watch Queen of the Damned.
Oh,
Um,
it's a
so
very
good.
bad movie, but it's
bad,
so
but,
good.
But good.
Yeah.
She's good in it.
She is. That was like her start to the whole Hollywood thing.
Yeah, exactly.
She's breaking
Oh.
through.
Romeo Must Die.
Oh,
I remember
yeah.
Romeo Must Die.
Yeah, that was
That
a good
was
movie.
not really good, but it was
Terrible,
great.
but good.
I
She's
love how
good
Brynne's
in
like,
it.
that was a great movie, you guys.
For me.
For you.
I loved Queen of the Damned. I had that soundtrack.
Oh
Mm.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that soundtrack.
Remember when there were
Since-
soundtracks?
Remember?
Wow.
Are there soundtracks
I
anymore?
don't think so.
No.
You just, yeah, they're out there.
They're out there.
Huh.
You just gotta look. Since it is our episode 1 of season 6, let's do one of our favorite segments.
What is that?
Oh my God.
Yeah, the one we always do. What is it?
Yeah.
Guess. You could say it. Why are you lip singing?
Because I thought you were gonna play it. Just dance to this.
Sassy, slutty, sexy, stanky, right on, Carol. I'm Carol.
Carol, for once in your life, shut your damn mouth.
Yes, for people who don't know, Carol is the segment we do where we get to gripe about whatever we want. One thing, it could be anything that is just gets under our skin that we just cannot stand. And we need to get it off our chest. That is our Carol of the week. I shall go first. Mine is pedestrians.
Okay.
I have, maybe it's because of the way I drive. I think I'm a good driver. But if you're a pedestrian,
So pleadingly.
if you're a pedestrian walking in the street and like, you know, when you get to an intersection, if you're not already a foot off the curb or close to the curb, I'm going to still go. If you're like 10, 20 feet down the street and you're expecting me to stop and wait for you to cross the street, fuck you. No, I'm not. I'm going to keep going. Because I learned this. I believe this is a law. They have to be on the curb or right entering the intersection for you to stop.
Yes.
I think
and wait for the pedestrian. So far, like this happened 3 times this week. They were literally down the street, not like coming to turn, and it was green for me, and I was making a left turn.
Yeah.
So I turned because they were nowhere near the intersection, and I got them yelling at me or going, hey, and I'm like, fuck you.
They yelled at you?
Yes, and I rolled down my window, went real slow, and said, fuck you. Oh, I hate that shit.
Oh, that's
What?
amazing.
Do you not agree?
No, I do agree. Yeah. No, I
Okay.
agree.
Do you have a Carol, Eric,
Come back to me.
Okay.
Brynne?
My Carol is that when you expect anyone, if someone is in line in front of you and they have a child, don't expect them to go fast.
I expect you to go fast.
You do? I knew
do.
you were going to say this.
I do.
So we
You know
gotta
what?
talk
I am
about
now.
this, like,
I am not going to wait because you had a mistake of having a child. That is on you. That is not on me. You made that life choice. You deal with the consequences.
pick another lane. I guess what I could say
Pick another
is,
lane.
if there are multiple like checkout lanes or
Yeah.
multiple places that you can go, don't pick the one where there's a person with a child.
Okay.
Because Flynn
Okay.
is like a full-on monster, and she wants to do everything herself. And
I would see. I wouldn't even address my anger to you. I
Yeah.
would address it to your child. I would be like, "Look in here, listen, look here, you little bitch. You need to pick up the pace. You
Hurry
want a
on.
lesson in real life? I'm giving it to you right now. This is how you're going to be treated if you keep up this behavior. Move your little ass." That's what I would tell her.
yeah, so pick another lane. I would say go. Like if there are choices.
You know what? I
go.
probably wouldn't. I would probably want to give him that life lesson.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like lesson 2 because I'm not giving it to
You know
her.
what's funny? This
Yeah.
brought up a conversation last night. I went to Ponce's here in San Diego. If you guys want really good Mexican food, go to Ponce's in Kensington.
Yes.
With a bunch of friends. And dog people came up. There are only 2 dogs in this world I love. Dutch and Matt, which are my friend Dwayne's dogs.
Yeah.
I like dogs to an extent. But when you're throwing themed birthday parties for him, Syed, this is like, I can't. There was another person at the table who did the same thing. And I'm like, they are animals. They don't
were at
know.
a
They don't
restaurant?
care. No, they threw a big party for their dog.
Like at the restaurant?
No.
Oh, okay.
He was showing us pictures.
Oh, that's wild.
Oh.
And I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
Can't. You know what? Get him a treat. Get him a new toy.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't need to invite and send out invitations and expect people to wear a costume to their damn dog's birthday party. You know what it is? And it is an excuse for you to continue your alcoholism. That's
But-
all it is.
Exactly. Just say, I want to have a
A
party
party.
for me.
For
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna hide it behind my dog's birthday party.
When Flynn had her first birthday, I was like, this party is for me.
See? Be honest about
I
it.
was.
Let's
I was
be
like, this
real.
is the party that
Yeah.
I want to have for me.
Yeah.
It's
She
like
Doesn't
when
care.
it's
She
like
won't
when I
remember.
see like a 1-year-old at Disneyland. I'm like, the
They
kid's
don't
not
know.
gonna know
God, I hate
anything.
that.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah, it's so weird.
But yeah, don't get me wrong. I do love pets. It depends on the pets. Like there's certain dogs, like I'm like, okay, you're a bitch. I like Bash's dog.
Yeah.
He's a complete little cunt. That dog has dead hooker eyes. He knows it though. He knows it. He looks at me and goes, we're the
We're-
same.
we're the
And I'm like,
Understanding.
respect.
Yeah.
Don't come near me. I don't come near you.
Yeah.
But this is the other thing. I posted on my social media the other day. I said, if you are a pet owner and you do not control your pet in public, you do not deserve to own a pet. People had opinions fans about that.
Wow.
And
or
I'm
maybe
like-
just don't bring your pet out in
I
public.
agree with that. Like, if
But
you
it's
know
like-
that your pet can't control
No,
themselves.
if they're barking at you and being aggressive to other
Yeah.
people, and as you're standing there and you don't do anything, you're like, oh, he's just no.
Don't rationalize
Yeah.
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Anyways, do you have a? I went off on a tangent.
my
I'm
God.
sorry.
My Carol's kind of a story. So
What?
Alright.
I went out with a friend this week who does drag in San Diego.
Oh, I know
and,
who this is.
we left Riches, and
She's great, by the way.
She is. She does drag.
she's
She was
lovely.
kind of dressed as a boy, kind of dressed as a girl, so kind of in between. And she was wearing a Chicago Bulls jacket, and
Because you said that, everybody's gonna know who she is in San Diego.
no, maybe it's okay because she'd tell the story
Okay.
anyways. And so this person came up and was like, "Oh my God, Chicago! I love Chicago!" And I'm halfway paying attention. And then I kind of look away and I turn back and I look and I'm like, oh my God, that's Denali from the 2 seasons ago from
On
RuPaul's Drag Race.
Who
but
was in
dressed
town.
As boy.
Yeah, in
who was in
town.
town.
Oh.
And then I look over at my friend and she goes, I don't know any drag queens in this city. I think drag queens are awful people as a joke.
As a
'Cause-
joke.
As a
Yeah.
joke. But she didn't know who she was talking to.
So she completely insulted Denali.
How was
Completely
Denali
and then I
dressed?
watched her face go, oh.
Denali's face?
Yes.
You know
So-
what? It was a humbling moment for that person.
So
there you go.
that's my Carol of the Week, are people who say things that are insulting to other people.
And they're completely
with-
oblivious.
oblivious to everything. Don't do that.
That is
Don't do that.
amazing.
Err on the
Oh
side
my
of
god!
kindness.
I want to say her name, the queen, but I'm not going to.
You can't.
Miriam T. Anyway, no, I'm kidding. It
it's
wasn't
not.
Miriam. It wasn't
Absolutely
Miriam.
not.
Who? Miriam T. Hopefully, will be coming back on the show to visit with us once in a while.
I hope
Yeah.
so. I miss,
Yeah, I hung out with her last week, and we had a good. I haven't seen her in so long because we've been so busy, but we caught up and everything, and yeah, she's doing great.
I miss that very loud
I
person.
know that very that very loud person.
I miss her screaming at
her
me.
not screeching.
Yeah,
screeching is
screeching
better.
probably better,
Yeah,
yes.
the Gilbert Godfrey of drag.
The Gilbert Godfrey of drag.
R.I.P.
That's amazing. Oh yeah, he is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, we're talking a lot of
Where
dead
I
people today.
know, Jesus.
Thank goodness
Christ.
it's Halloween month.
I know,
think that's what it
seriously.
is.
Yeah, it's
First day of
Halloween month.
Halloween
Through
month.
us.
We're
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
into
yeah.
it. But you guys, we made it. First episode of season 6.
Yay.
Oh, bye.
And your first episode as a co-host, like
Yeah,
official co-host.
Thank you.
Official.
Are you ready
Everyone's
for
gonna
this,
be like,
Brynne?
we hate her. Get her off.
I know. They're like, no, this one.
No, we don't like it.
How
Well,
was
we
it for
do.
you?
It
We
was
love
great. Yeah, this is nice. I mean, it always goes by so quickly.
Yeah.
Yes.
The one thing with Brynne is you and I are very loud, and Brynne comes on and she's like,
I know. I
ASR,
feel like maybe because like
ASR.
my internalized misogynism has told us the first podcast I ever did was with my friend Kelly, and we talked about female serial killers, and all of the first comments were, "Your voices are shrill and terrible."
Oh, what?
Wow.
So maybe I have like.
A shrill and terrible voice. That's
You're
what,
like one person was like, "Your voices are intolerable." they're like, "Stop
Wow.
laughing."
fuck that. No.
Yeah. So maybe I should work on getting better.
No, you're fine. If anything, my voice is shrill and barely tolerable.
I was told that our laughs sound like two dolphins
Dolphins.
laughing together, so
Aw,
I like silently laugh now when I
Do
laugh.
you really? No, you.
Sometimes I do.
Yeah, because there was somebody, because we were at Inside Out, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, you two when you laugh normally when we're not trying to
Yeah.
be silenced by the man, you're two dolphins laughing."
Yes, speaking our own language together.
I mean, how do people laugh? Do you laugh quietly?
Yeah.
Like, huh, 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 huh.
No, that is a serial killer.
That's a
That's-
serial killer.
yeah,
Yeah,
that is
exactly.
the sign.
That's a
No.
sociopath.
Yeah,
You know what? If somebody
exactly.
has a good hearty laugh, I'm all about it. That
Yeah,
means they're
me
happy
too.
people.
Laugh for you.
Yeah.
I've also
Yeah.
been told that my laugh sounds like a car starting.
Yeah. Yeah. That old jalopy in the backyard is trying to start up again. Oh my god, you guys. But that is our show.
Yay.
Yeah. Eric, how do people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Daddy Bear Eric.
There you go. And Brynne, how do people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at a real Brynne Mac.
at a real Brynne Mac. And you can follow me as Tony_Baloney_macaroni on Instagram.
Instagram. I think that's where you're at.
Oh shit, no, I hit the wrong button. Okay. And you can follow the show at Who Invited Her _podcast on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. We're Who Invited Her SC. Yeah, we'll be back next week, everybody. That is it. We are ready for season 6. We have some great guests lined up that I'm excited. A lot of our old guests are going to be coming back too, which is going to be very exciting. But you guys, that's it for us. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Breaking my habit 'cause you turn me on to my heart's desire. Now I'm dying to let you know.